Good evening, everyone. Did you miss me? Yeah, this morning was slow. It was family day. How was your family day? Did you have a good one? Did you do something special? We didn't. We actually went to work today, just for a little bit. But they need us, and we need them, so it was all right. At least the roads are going to be worse tomorrow, though. Anyway, hope you had a good family day. Did you do an event? I looked at some of the events that were happening, maybe taking an event. And I thought, geez, how much do these things cost? Well, turns out they're roughly $60 a pop for each adult. Kids, $20, $30. And so that's like, family. Family, you got $200 right there. Plus you got parking, that's another $20. Gas, another $50. You gotta feed them, another $100. So you're like $400 already. $400 for one event. Whew. I can't afford that. I sure didn't get any increase in my monthly income. Groceries alone went up $400 a month. It's just insane. I don't know how families can afford this. That with electric bill, what's that? Roughly $300. Heat, another $300. Internet, $100. Cell phone, $100. Gasoline, $300 or more or less. Give or take $300. Mortgage, rent, $800. No, $1,800 or more or a little less, depending. And if you've got mortgage, you still have to, mortgage or rent, you still have to have insurance. So what's that? Another $200 a month? Yeah. Then you've got taxes. If you've got a property, you got property taxes. That's what, $200, $250. Some people are way more than that a month. Now, if you got a car payment, what's that? $700 a month. Credit cards, maybe $500 a month. Insurance for, vehicles and all that other stuff, $400 a month. And that's just for two people. So if you've got like kids, like children, small family, you got to add what? Another $1,000 a kid per month. Crazy. So maybe you haven't got a really good employment insurance, the kind of benefits. If you've got good ones, then you're okay. But if you're just average or don't have any, like people on Blue Cross, for instance, we know a lot of those folks, just Blue Cross. Maybe you have prescriptions. Give or take, maybe that's $200. Maybe it's more. Still a lot of money. So you got what? $7,500 right there? And then add on another $400 for an event. $7,800, give or take. I don't have that kind of money. Do you have that kind of money? I could never afford to do that. Never. Thank God. Oh, things are getting rough. Things are getting darn tough out there. No help from a certain premier. I found out about that premier. Apparently, they were lobbying feds for money for health care because they need to expand health care because health care and health care and health care. Turns out, federal government gave this woman and her government, her provincial government, $233 million just to boost the health care. Yeah? $233 million. Where the hell did that go? Surely it didn't go to hiring some more paramedics, getting a few more ambulances, allowing doctors to perform surgeries, getting an MRI for maybe a couple more hospitals. CT? Nope. Improve the waiting lists in the emergency. Better triage? Nope. Getting those LPNs to do what they can do? LPN can say, hey, you need an x-ray, or hey, you need stitches. You don't have to sit around in a waiting room and have grumpy old nurses look at you in disdain, and then 9 or 10 hours later you get to see a doctor who says, hey, you need an x-ray, or hey, you need stitches. Where did that $233 million go? I want to know. Are we ever going to know? Probably not. Think she's going to tell us? Hell no, she's not. Nope. She's too busy fraternizing with the lunatic neighbors next door. Yeah, her and that little man used to be a good doctor. Used to be a good cardiologist. A little man in a cowboy hat and a teeny little tiny boots. Yeah. Him and that disgraced lawyer, deadbeat dad lawyer, another cowboy hat guy. He's being quite investigated. He's not a very good lawyer. Not a very good dad either. Child support. Come on. Pay your child support. Yep, they're all fraternizing. They're all fraternizing with the crazy lunatics next door, and somehow $233 million got, I don't know, rebudgeted somewhere else. Maybe a little gas and oil, knocking down a few mountains for some coal. Is that what it is? Coal? What the hell's she doing? And then this mental health thing. Holy shit. Yeah. Mental health. There's some things that happened here because mental health has been cut. And it has recently been cut again. The programs that some of the Asian people were going to, you know, people who can't work. They can't work. They can't hold a job. They got problems. They're schizophrenic, or they got brain damage, or they, you know, who ADD up the DD. They just can't focus. They can't work. They have no friends. Can't hold a job. What do? They go to these programs once a week or twice a week. They have some fellowship, place to vent, place to talk about their feelings, place to talk about what's happening to them, just to try and be a little bit normal for a couple hours a week. No, cut. Sorry, figure it out. Send them home to their families, because their families, their parents, their, you know, brothers or sisters or whatever, they're fully qualified people to deal with, you know, a schizophrenic person or suicidal. Oops, I'm not supposed to say that. A person who wants to unalive them occasionally, or have those kinds of thoughts. No, she cut the mental health. She cut the health care. She made the teachers go back to work, forced them with that notwithstanding clause. She used that 4 times in like 3 months or something. It wasn't meant for that. No, it wasn't meant for that. Yeah. Made the teachers go back to work and said, yeah, we'll talk about, you know, a raise and benefits later. Has she done it? No, she hasn't. Not even tried. Too busy. Too busy fraternizing with the lunatics next door. I'll tell ya. How do these people sleep at night? How do they sleep at night? They do so much awful things. Take from the poorest people. She slashed $400 off the Asian people. $400 a month. And I just read you the list of how much things cost. How can they do that? How can she do that and sleep at night? Makes you wonder. It just makes you wonder. And you know what? I think if they have really intelligent people running for office so that they can make these rules and laws for us all, the really, really intelligent ones, the smart ones that should be in there, people who have a good moral compass and integrity and foresight and compassion, you know, those people who should be in office, they're too smart to go in there because their lives will be torn apart. We have to change. Our system has to change. I can't. Who can afford $78, maybe even $10,000 a month? $10,000 a month. You don't even have maybe a little savings in there. Oh my God. Gosh sakes, hey? What do you do? I mean, I'm not asking how much you make or how much you bring home each month, but how are you coping? How are you coping with everything going up like that? Had to fill up a tire the other day. It was $2.50. Jesus Christ. $2.50 to fill up a tire. Anyway, next time I'm going to Canadian Tire, and I'll be the helpless little lady and please, could you put air in my tire? Yes, ma'am. $2.50. What are we gonna do? Oh, the snow, right? The windrows right outside our homes. Can't park, can't walk, can't get to the car if you're parked on the street. Can't get any flyers delivered, or kids walking by going to school, or somebody going for a bus. Jesus. Can't afford it because last year, when they made the budget for this year, they base this year's budget on last year's snowfall. Well, here we are. We burnt through the budget already, and it's February. We're getting a whole ton more snow. Whole ton. Probably again in March. Don't forget the April blast. Budget's gone. Roads are packed with snow, windrows, ice. It's all ice now. People are falling and breaking their arms all over the place. I broke my wrist myself 2 years ago. Not because of a windrow, because I am trying to go too fast and I slipped and down I went and broke my wrist. That's my little healthcare story. That's another thing entirely. Thank you, Big D. Thank you, Big D. Yeah, that was a hard one. That was a hard one for me, and I'm not getting any younger. Yeah. And now there's metal in there, metal plates in there. When it's really cold, it gets cold. So I have to run it under hot water to get it, warming up again. We had a good week though. But it's coming cold again. We're going to get another cold blast. So I think I've yapped enough. I hope maybe I've given you something to think about. And, leave me a comment. What are you guys doing? I mean, we're old. We didn't plan on having a cost of living being 10 grand a month. Did you? Ooh, Jesus, no, I didn't. So now my retirement plans are, well, I have to work till I'm dead anyway, but if I don't win the lottery, I guess that's the way it's going to be. The lottery is my retirement plan. Hey, Dad? All right. Well, leave me a comment. Drop me a note. I hope you liked our little talk today. Tell me what you did. How are you coping with all this terrible cost of living stuff? And of course the lunatic neighbors next door. Every day it's another wonderful lunacy. Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. I'm going to go lay my head down and watch something boring and quiet that has nothing to do with lunatic neighbors or stupid inflation, general cost of living, and just try and get a good night's sleep. So, thank you all once again. I will see you sometime tomorrow. I'm enjoying this. It's quite fun. All right. Okay, that's it. Have a good night.